Good day, everyone. This here is Devan and Athul. We are both business students from Amada School of Business, Coimbatore, hailing from India. We thank you for this opportunity, and without further ado, we cordially welcome those who are in attendance here into our presentation. So, uh, so as we all know, we are now going through tiring times where our actions as human beings have put up immense stress upon the planet and the rest of its inhabitants by exhausting its natural resources and degrading its resources at an alarming rate. And if this course of action is to continue, it is pretty much assumable that there won't be any future left for us or the planet. And now there are a lot of cause and effects that which is visible to us now than when compared to a few decades ago. Therefore, nations have come forward and unanimously accepted that sustainability is the only sensible path ahead of us, and we must adopt it for fulfilling the needs of mankind, and as well as without doing so without compromising the planet's resources. So, for this purpose, people must be aware of the concept of sustainability and their literacy levels on the matter. And they must be tested from time to time. And this concept brings us to Sulitest. It's an assessment tool developed in order to assess people on the aspects of their knowledge on sustainability, their sustainability skills, and their mindset towards sustainability. The test contains both international as well as specially designed national modules in accordance with their regional data. The test consists of 30 international questions and 20 domestic module questions. So now this brings us to our research question. How can CELTES be used as a learning tool within higher educational institutions? We have chosen this to be our research question as this is an area that is rather left unexplored, and there are only a few number of papers that are currently available with respect to the topic. So our paper is basically a literature survey of the articles that are related to the topic of such institutions, especially higher education institutions, utilizing CELTEST and sustainability practices that have been adopted by the said institutions around the globe. We accessed the Scopus browser and then collected articles relevant to the topic on the basis of the keywords displayed here. That is PRMEs, Principles of Responsible Management Education System, CELTEST, Sustainability Awareness, and 17 SDGs, Sustainability Development Goals.
Thank you, Devan. Now, we would like to discuss about the findings of our research. So, what we found out about the sustainability awareness that is currently present is that the higher education institutions, there are significant knowledge gaps which are existing among the SDGs. Also, different institutions are having different perceptions about sustainability. So because of this, the way they teach their students or pass it down to their students is also different. So there is a debate or a huge difference in the ideas when it comes to sustainability and related matters. Students also have little knowledge about the local issues, but when it comes to the international concepts or the deep and very much important concepts, they do not have an in-depth knowledge. Now, we would like to discuss about how some of the higher education institutions are utilizing Sulitest. A Midwestern university in America conducted this test for their students, and it was found out that students had a considerable knowledge in some aspects of the SDGs. There were no areas where everybody knew nothing, or there weren't any areas where all the students knew everything. Life below the ocean, clean and vertical and ethical work environment, zero hunger were some of the areas where students performed relatively better. So we can say that there is some level of understanding about sustainability and the SDGs in that particular university. Next, an international hospitality management school in Switzerland conducted this test, and there was significant knowledge gaps were evident regarding the 17 SDGs among all 6 group of the students who were taking the test. So these kind of results actually helps the education institutions to introduce new subjects or topics regarding sustainability that aligns with their curriculum. In fact, in that particular university, some students actually misunderstood the concept of sustainability as getting maximum profit with minimum costs, which is not even remotely close to what sustainability in real life means. Also, a Norwegian university did this test, and the responses collected actually helped them to evaluate the degree of comprehension of their students who are able to absorb on the discipline of sustainable literacy. Now, we'd like to discuss about Sulitest conducted at Amrita School of Business, Coimbatore. This is a B school located in the southern part of India in a town called Coimbatore. The two graphs indicate that the students of Amrita School of Business have a good understanding and knowledge in the matters of sustainability at an international level relative to the national level. The graph on the left side shows that the students have performed better than the worldwide average and also the nationwide average in most of the specs. But in their spec local India module, their performance is relatively lesser than the national average, because the graph on the right hand side shows the exact same thing about it. So the scores from both these modules gives us a picture of what the institution itself can do to improve the students' knowledge and awareness. Of course, this is their first practice session. Now, here we see the results of their second practice session. Here, we can see the scores have actually improved in both the cases. Students still performed a bit lower on the Indian spec module when compared to the international module. The right-hand side graph shows us that even though there is a huge improvement from the previous scores, in some area, the scores are still lagging behind the national average, while on the international module, that is the graph on the left side, shows that students have performed fairly well. So we would like to suggest that this particular institution could introduce more modules or chapters that are related with Indian initiatives and practices in sustainability. Similarly, if all such higher education institutions are able to use Sulitest in such a way, they could actually determine how to incorporate sustainability lessons into their curriculum. They could teach the students about matters and idea and concepts which the students actually need or which they are unaware of. So coming to conclusion, we would like to say that Sulitest was actually received positively by the students wherever it was conducted. The easiness of navigating through the test, the displaying of the correct answer and its explanation as soon as a wrong answer was given, factors like that actually help students understand Sulitest better and generate interest about these matters in themselves. We also believe that it should be made compulsory for all the students and teachers so that they have a good level of understanding about sustainability. In many cases, people actually know about the practices that could lead them to a sustainable environment, but most of the times they are not incorporated into their lives. The inconsistencies and inexperience of people everywhere means that our current level of awareness is not enough for a transformational level of change, and we do need a transformational level of change, because at this rate we are going, our future generations won't be inheriting a healthy planet like our generations did from our predecessors. In some of the developing countries, there is evidence that citizens are still using unsustainable methods because they live below the social foundation of a donut, and hence they are not able to afford cleaner forms of energy. So this itself will lead to a further vicious cycle of unsustainable methods, which is not at all good for our planet. In the end, we would like to tell that sustainable literacy must be incorporated into the education curriculums with a universal syllabus so as to induce feelings and interest of sustainability into the minds of our next generation. It's high time that we keep Earth at the center of all our discussions and decisions. Here are some of the articles that me and my co-author had to refer while we were doing our study. That's all. Thank you everyone for listening to our presentation, and we wish everybody good health and a safe time during this pandemic. Once again, thank you from us.